Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand, of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about Gaige Grosskreutz Latest Scheme and other topics of the day. For those who haven't heard, Gaige Grosskreutz got hit by a car recently in Wisconsin, someplace. And honestly, after watching the video, it legitimately looks like a total fucking fake hit and run kind of thing. There's what it was. Like the fact that you had like the impact happen like so like just like, oh, I can see it coming and like touch the car, and then bang, they like hit into me at like 10 miles an hour or something like that. And now this guy is doing a GoFundMe and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, the whole thing seems fishy as fuck is what it is, man. But yeah, we're going to talk about that as one of the stories of the day. We're also going to talk about a few other things. I can't be here for more than about 40 minutes a day or so, though, give or take. So we're going to try to bust through these real quick in the next half hour or so and discuss a few things I want to talk about right now. So anyway, but yeah, Grosskreutz is a piece of shit in general. He apparently is now going by an assumed name, which is, let me see if I can find the article real quick here. Paul Predigger, which he's basically telling the judge to keep in secret, apparently, in the Kenosha, Wisconsin case, because he's obviously suing Kenosha, the state of Wisconsin, et cetera, cops, even though he admitted on the fucking stand he should be in prison right now for a bunch of crimes, including the attempted murder of Kyle Rittenhouse, but yet he's still able to walk free in this country. And it does kind of make me wonder, because I was looking at the suspect in this case, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this Marvin guy Jump Kick Man? Like, is it literally Gaige and Jump Kick Man literally having a, like, concocted scheme of some kind to where they're just trying to make money off of it is what it is? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, we're not going to show the video today because that would probably give me a channel strike. I'm not going to risk that's what it is, especially when it's already behind age-restricted paywalls here on YouTube. If you want to find it, you can find it on there. The article we're going to talk about here today in a minute basically shows it from there, which is Kenosha CountyEye.com. It has it on there. But yeah, this is the article we're going to read right now from that particular website about the whole thing that happened here. So, as I said here, it said, Kyle Rittenhouse attacker Gaige Grosskreutz hit by car in Milwaukee, new name revealed. And then, of course, they can show, literally him, like, about to stop there. Says, Paul Predigger, formerly known as Gaige Grosskreutz, being supposedly hit by Marvin Thomas in Milwaukee, bringing Milwaukee police there. Said, criminal Paul Predigger, formerly known as Gaige Grosskreutz, chastised Kenosha CountyEye for reporting first that he secretly asked a judge to change his name. Grosskreutz is known for being the man who pointed a gun at 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse during the riots in 2020 and was shot for it, having his bicep blown off. Since Rittenhouse was acquitted of any wrongdoing for shooting the career criminal, says Grosskreutz told the judge in Milwaukee that his name change needed to be secret in order to protect himself from, quote, far-right people who have been threatening his life, which is absolute bullshit and lies. So although Grosskreutz would have us believe that he is in fear of his life, he couldn't help himself when he decided to go on local affiliate for ABC News there to talk about being run over. This is apparently the suspect right here, Marvin Thomas. Said according to that same ABC affiliate, Grosskreutz suffered a lacerated liver and multiple broken bones. He is trying to raise money on GoFundMe. The offender of the alleged hit and run, Marvin Thomas, was charged yesterday with 2 felonies related to the crash. He is being held on a $1,500 cash bond right now. So that means he's got to pay all cash bond is what it is there. So, yeah, there's that. I thought that was an interesting story. And I'm going to talk about the actual GoFundMe BS too as well, because truthfully, this is exactly why GoFundMe needs to be shut down as a site right now, or bare minimum needs to be sort of freezed and seized is what it is, because of the fact that you have it being used to do all kinds of schemes by Antifa and other leftist terrorist organizations in this country and terrorist individuals like Gaige Grosskreutz / Paul Predigger. And it's like, dude, at what point do we have these fuckers be put in prison right now? And at what point do we have these money laundering sites shut down, specifically GoFundMe, that was literally being used as a literal money laundering site for Black Lives Matter during the 2020 riots and stuff like that? But anyway, it says here on this other one here, it's got Paul Predigger's GoFundMe raises $990 as victim, formerly known as Gaige Grosskreutz, injured in a hit-run accident. It's actually more than that now. It's about, last I checked, it was like $1,200 or so, which really you should look at everybody that's giving this asshole money, because I guarantee you they're the same cocksucker slandering Kyle Rittenhouse by falsely claiming he killed 2 black guys that night and falsely claiming he took a rifle across state lines, et cetera, even though it's all proven in the court of law right now that he did none of that stuff. He obviously shot 2 people in self-defense, one of them being convicted pedophile, Joseph Rosenbaum, who literally molested 5 boys between the ages of 9 and 11. Should never been seen later after that again, because he should have been executed publicly in this country for crimes against humanity and stuff like that is what it is, and child molestation charges. And then the other one being Anthony Huber, who like grabbed the rifle and basically shot himself with it, was a wife beater / domestic violence abuser of his grandmother, I believe what it was, and younger siblings. So, yeah, not good people. And then, of course, you had Grosskreutz being a career criminal who did not have a valid concealed carry license that night in Wisconsin, which you had to have that night, because it was actually stripped from him at that point, because he did have felony charges for being a burglar and shit like that. So, anyway. Yes, it's Paul Prediger, formerly known as Gaige Grosskreutz, the man who survived being shot by Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha in 2020, has launched a fundraising campaign after a recent hit-and-run incident. Grosskreutz changed his name to Paul Prediger in 2022 to protect himself from quote-unquote far-right people threatening his life after he testified in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and admitted on the fucking stand why he should be charged with a shitload of fucking felonies, for that matter. And I'm going to put the headphones on because Corey showed up in the house. What's going on?
What's going on?
Oh, just talking about Grosskreutz / Prediger.
Yeah, that's fucking ironic and funny that his ass got ran over.
Well, if you look at the video, I don't know if you saw the video or not.
Yeah, I saw the video of him getting ran over.
It looks like it was a scheme. It looks like the guy was doing like 10 miles an hour just to hit him, like be like, I hit him so he can go fundraise on GoFundMe or something like that.
Yeah.
And be like, woe is me, I'm the victim again, kind of stuff. Like, I wouldn't put it past these people. I mean, hell, look at how many hit-ups happen in this country every year.
Honestly, there's no telling with his stupid ass.
Yeah.
Even though he said in an interview that he told the judge he wanted his new name quiet because he was, quote-unquote, scared of far-right people that were threatening his life. He's just a whiny little bitch.
Yeah.
That just needs to fucking go away. He should be in prison, honestly.
Yes. He should have been in prison the second he testified under oath that he literally was going to murder Rittenhouse that night. Like, he should have been arrested on the spot by cops in that courtroom.
Exactly.
I agree. It says Grosskreutz 29 shot in the arm by Rittenhouse in Kenosha. August 25th, 2020. Incident occurred while thousands had gathered to protest police brutality and fatal shooting of... Wait a minute. Fatal shooting of Jacob Blake isn't dead. He's alive. The fuck, man?
Yeah, Jacob Blake didn't die. He was shot, but he was paralyzed.
Yeah, let me go ahead and look it up right now. Actually, I'll just talk about that for real. Kenosha. Okay. Well, oh, wait. Did they even say that wrong? Yeah, they even spelled the guy's name wrong. It's Blake, and they said Jacob Black. Man, whoever wrote this is a fucking hack of a writer for sure. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, because you can even look it up
just
right
shows
there.
That, you know, how they will lie and cheat and steal and, you know, fudge the truth and everything just because to fit their narrative, because we know what happened with Blake. We know he wasn't killed. Yeah, August
2021, Blake said in an interview he was able to take a few steps at the time. He was basically paralyzed for a while is what it was because of the way he was shot in the back.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was actually trying to ditch a knife at the time. Nobody ever mentions that part of it, though.
No. But that's like how they still say now, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with an illegal weapon and he went there to killed 3 black people, which is all bullshit. We know it's been,
and even like right here, Rittenhouse arrived outside the venue armed with a semi-automatic AR-15 rifle and killed 2 people before shooting Grosskreutz in the arm. Never mentioned how it was all in self-defense, by the way.
Yeah.
See, 2021, there you go. Rittenhouse is acquitted on all charges in the shootings of 3 men, including 2 that were killed, and the teens' attorneys argued that he opened fire in self-defense because it was the truth. 2022, Grosskreutz testified against Rittenhouse, filed a secret petition to change his legal name over death threats from far-right radicals. Oh, you guarantee that was all fucking threats from himself is what it was.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it if he fabricated every single one of them.
Yeah. So, a secret petition was reported to a conservative news website, Kenosha County, Iowa, which I just talked about a minute ago, which first revealed Grosskreutz to change his name to Paul Prediger. It says Paul Prediger says the suspect was allegedly waiting for him to go through the crosswalk. Yeah, because it was fucking set up, dude. We all know you set it up there, Gaige.
I mean, he went from one dumbass name to another.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he's pre-digging his grave at this point, honestly, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a fucking bunch of clown asses, dude, for real. Like, the guy's just a moron in general.
I agree.
This is why you always got to double tap at zombies, by the way, in the grid down. Make sure you finish the job. Just saying.
Yeah, because you don't want them to come back and bite you in the ass.
Or like in Zombie Land where they bite you in the leg and shit.
Yeah.
And then moving from one piece of shit to another, we got the little douchebag teenagers there in Las Vegas that killed that retired cop. Las Vegas teen accused of mowing down retired cop boasted in front of a police line, "I'll be out in 30 days." I'm pretty sure it was the black suspect there that said that. So this teenager quit in the fatal hit and run of a retired police officer in Las Vegas. Apparently believed he would not be in custody for very long. Oh, no, sorry. That was the Latino guy that they describe as white, by the way. That dude is clearly Latino with like MS-13 gang tats on his face.
Yep.
Yeah, it said Jesus Alava, who recently turned 18, was allegedly driving the stolen car in August when the hit and run of 64-year-old Andres Prost, who was riding his bike on the side of the road, happened. It says 16-year-old. I'm not sure how to pronounce this kid's name, honestly. Jamir Keys was also inside the car during the incident. He was the one filming the shit, by the way. According to Breitbart News, teenagers will be facing charges as adults as they should. So this video footage shows teens nearing the victim, who was wearing a red t-shirt and black shorts, as he pedaled his bike along the road. At one point, them saying, "Hit his ass," and moments later, the car slams into the victim, who was left lying on the side of the road as they drive past him. Yeah, it's disgusting. Since law enforcement arrested the Latino teenager hours after the deadly incident, however, he apparently believed he was not going to be in deep trouble. You think this juvenile shit is going to do some shit? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. "I'll be out in 30 days, I bet you. It's just, expletive, I hit and run and slap on the wrist." Post noted that the suspect has not yet been informed of any hit and run charges when he was arrested regarding the warrant and obstructing an officer. Since now officials are holding him without bail, he faces 18 charges, including murder, attempted murder, and grand larceny, because he stole that car, by the way. This video footage shows teens appear in court on Thursday. Said Keys faces 3 charges as he is accused of recording the video of the incident involving the murder of this man. And then that was the guy that they killed right there. It's just disgusting. It says, quote, 2 teens are accused of going on a crime spree throughout the day on August 14th of 2023 as they allegedly hit a 72-year-old bicyclist while in a stolen Hyundai sedan, crashed into a Toyota Corolla, and again drove away before striking this man and killing him. Yeah, just absolutely disgusting, dude.
Yep.
And people want to do death penalties in this country. I don't understand that. It just blows my mind, honestly. Like, some motherfuckers just need to die is what it is, man. Seriously.
No, I agree. You know, if you commit murder like that, if it, you know, depending on if it, you know, how heinous it is, because, you know, when you defend yourself, that's still a homicide, but it's, you know, justified because you were in the right. So,
yeah.
But, you know, someone like that, or even like the dude that, you know, killed, what was his name? David Dorn, that cop.
Yeah.
In Chicago. People like that.
Was it Chicago? I thought it was a different state.
It might have been. I don't remember. But point is, people like that are that evil shouldn't be able to walk the earth. You know what I mean?
Let's see here. Yeah, murder of David Dorn was in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
Honestly, St. Louis isn't far from Chicago.
Was fatally shot after interrupting a burglary at a pawn shop in St. Louis, Missouri. Incident occurred the same night as the riots in St. Louis, Missouri over the murder of George Floyd.
Yep.
Fentanyl head himself. It said Stephen Cannon was a 24-year-old at the time of the incident, was convicted of the murder on July 20th, 2022. Like, honestly, and I'm gonna say it like it is, like, this fucking kid in Vegas, he needs to meet the same fate as Billy met the other day.
Who?
The Texas serial killer.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember that guy's last name. Is something that's pronounced like really weird. Yeah, it's like C or K or something like that.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that
the same
long
fate as
time
that
ago.
motherfucker.
And then recently
just like
finding out.
Shib in the fucking showers, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he got what got what coming to him.
Speaking of people getting what's coming to them, elderly man's son opens fire, kills one alleged intruder, wounds another. Said Las Vegas elderly man's son opened fire on alleged masked intruders at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, killing one and wounding another. Las Vegas Review reported the two alleged intruders tried to gain entry through a back door of the 70-year-old man's residence, and his son, who is 50 years old, opened fire. So one of the intruders, a man in his 20s, died in the backyard, and the second fled the scene in a gray sedan. So minutes later, police received a call of a gray sedan driving recklessly, followed by a report that the sedan had been involved in an accident. When the driver of the gray car exited the vehicle, he was wearing black clothing, or dark clothing, and a gunshot wound in his lower leg that was non-life-threatening was seen. Said driver was arrested in connection with the alleged home intrusion after going to the hospital. So, yeah. I don't know how Vegas's laws work, but in Ohio, that would be considered a felony murder rule. I think Texas, too, if I'm not mistaken.
In Texas, that'd be justified.
Yeah. Well, no, what I'm saying is the criminal that survives gets charged with felony murder of his buddy. There is what it is.
Maybe, yeah. I can't really remember. I think it's like accessory after the fact, or I don't remember.
There's sometimes where it's accessory during and after the fact too. I know that for a fact. It all depends. Like it'll probably be a slew of felonies at that point, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
So
because they while in the commission of a felony, it resulted in someone's death. So, and it was their fault. So
got
good on that guy for defending himself and his dad. So
yeah,
kudos.
Got two more stories I want to go over with Democrat pieces of shit. Got Illinois cashless bail releases man accused of leaving dead wife on the road. Of course, we got old pedophile himself, J.B. Pritzker there. Said Illinois man accused of leaving his dead wife's body on the side of the road has been released thanks to the state's new cashless bail system. Annalona Murrin, 29, was found dead on the side of the road after Inverness police received a call around 1:30 a.m. Monday. Police believed she had got into an argument with her husband, who was driving. The woman removed her seatbelt, opened her car door, and fell out from the vehicle. Police said she was struck by the car after falling out of it. According to allegations, her husband, Ivan, then stopped, checked on her, and fled the scene without calling for help. He turned himself in later that day. He is also a citizen of the Ukraine, but was also only told to surrender his passport, not to drive, and placed on an electric monitoring system. What a bunch of shit, dude, entirely. So this guy is not being held because he is not charged with domestic crime, allegedly, or additionally per report. He does not qualify to be jailed before trial because the charge he faces is not considered a forcible felony, and because it will result in probation upon conviction. What the fuck? Good God, man.
Jesus Christ. And they're probly doing that simply because he's from Ukraine.
Well, I think it's also the fact that Pritzker is a fucking clown-ass bitch who is trying to do cashless bail now is what it is. And it's like, which is interesting because I swear to God, they said that was the first to do with cashless bail as a state, but I swear it was New York was the first one to do away with it. I mean, it was just New York City that did away with it as like a city ordinance maybe or something. Like not the entire state of New York.
I think so.
That would make more sense than if that be the case. So anyway, speaking of criminals in our government, though, that's going to possibly be shut down in 8 days from now, which is going to suck ass if it does. We got Bob Mendez, a man who in 2019 falsely accused Trump of being Putin's puppet, charged with 3 counts, accused of accepting cash, gold, and home mortgage payments for his influence by Egyptian officials. So Senator Bob Mendez and his wife Nadine Mendez, each faced 3 federal charges stemming from the 39-page indictment alleging they accepted bribes from a New Jersey businessman in exchange for using Mendez's power and influence as a U.S. senator, not only to protect and enrich the men, but to benefit the Arab Republic of Egypt. How is that dude not being charged as a fucking foreign agent at that point with high treason?
Excellent point.
Says per a copy of the indictment obtained for public records, says Mendez faces 3 counts, conspiracy to commit bribery in violation of Section 201, and under Title 18 of the U.S. Code, conspiracy to commit honest service fraud under sections 1343 and 1346 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, and conspiracy to commit extortion under color of official right under section 1951 and section 1951 2 and 3 of Title 18. Should also be deprivation of law, by the way, for that matter, because he was doing shit for somebody else is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a misdemeanor charge, though not a felony, which it should be a felony. This allegation stemmed from Nadine Mendez's alleged corruption relationship with her co-defendants, Wal Hanna, Jose Urabi, and Fred Diabis. I think it's their pronunciation, I'm not sure. So the press conference shortly after 11 a.m. Eastern today, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, laid out allegations for corruption against Mendez and the co-defendants happened between 2018 and 2022, all while he was accusing Trump of being a fucking foreign spy and shit like that.
Piece of shit hypocrite.
And this is some of the gold that he took, by the way. This motherfucker took gold bars from Egypt, man.
Damn.
Like, that's some of the gold that he took. I'm going to try and pop this up as a screenshot right now.
Shit, I would love to have a bunch of those bricks of gold.
Yeah, that's literally the gold bars that this fucker accepted for cash, for some of his cash bribes and stuff.
That's a lot of fucking money right there.
Yeah, those are some huge-ass gold bars. That's the kind of gold bar you can knock someone's ass out with.
Yeah, no shit, but that's a lot of fucking money right there.
It's like that one that you had in what's that movie? Die Hard with a Vengeance, where they smash it through the car window.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cash too. And the thing was, I was watching the news earlier. Yeah, they were hiding this shit in envelopes. It's the same shit Alison Russo did a couple years ago here in Ohio when she took direct bribes from on-demand action. It was a white envelope just like that, honestly. And yet she's still a sitting state rep right now. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, over $480,000 in cash, much of it stuffed into envelopes and hidden in clothing, closets, and a safe, along with $70,000 in Nadine Mendez's safe deposit box, as well as over $100,000 worth of gold bars there. Jesus. Fucking insane, man. Yeah, just corrupt pieces of shit all the way around there.
If you got one of those gold bars, would you trade it in for the cash value, or would you keep it?
I'd probably, well, I would honestly have it melted down into smaller pieces of gold at that point.
Yeah, I think I would too, and then sell some of it, but keep, quite a bit of it.
Like, I would melt it down and then restrike it as like smaller, like little, almost like chinket, like, I don't know how to pronounce the term, but it would basically be like the smaller, like little ones, like about yay big there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like an ingot, but like there's like smaller bricks that are like maybe like yay big or so, give or take.
Yeah, just like little 1 or 2 ounce bricks.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd have, because I guarantee that was like probably a good like 30, 40 ounces of a brick right there. So I'd have that melted all the way down, purified completely, make sure it's all pure and everything else like that, and then remelt it basically into smaller bricks and stuff like that, and then also maybe some gold bullets for that matter. Or even some gold shell casings or something, maybe.
That'd be cool.
So,
did you hear about California?
Let me guess. They did some more child sexual stuff.
No. What I'm referring to is Judge Benitez ruling on
about the shit.
The magazine ban and shit being unconstitutional, and they put
that's
a
TRO
on it.
Now you got Kamala Harris becomes
gun
control czar after repeatedly failing as border czar and voting rights czar.
Fuck that dumb cunt.
Well, she's a great cocksucker, I can tell you that much.
Well, apparently, I mean,
she should be the czar of cocksucking, and that would make the best thing ever, really. It would be. I feel like she would give great head, honestly, to be honest with you, because she's done so much of it.
Yeah, she could probably suck the chrome off a bumper.
Also, I don't know if you heard about this one. New York City Mayor Eric Adams deploys police robot in Times Square subway station. It's like a giant Wall-E, basically.
And what's it supposed to do? I don't know.
Attention, citizen, you are in violation of jumping the turnstiles. And then it immediately gets beaten.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's the fucking point other than having a mobile camera?
Yeah. My thing is, unless that giant box in the front is going to deploy, like, I don't know, like automatic gunfire or something, or like non-lethal or something like that, maybe just like a shitload of bear mace or something like that or whatever. or like OC spray or something. Like
I find it
nothing for sure.
It's retarded and a waste of money.
It is. And it makes me wonder how much they pissed away on this whole thing when they're already in debt like crazy in that city.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, it's like you look at these mayors of these major cities and you think the last one was like the worst person, and then they somehow find a worse person after that.
Yeah, that's real talent.
You go
right
from
there.
Bill de Blasio to Eric Adams in New York. You go from Lori Lightfoot to Brandon Johnson in Chicago. You go from I'm trying to think who the previous LA mayor was, to that idiot Karen Bass now. And it's just like, dude, at what point do we just say enough is enough? It's like auto DQs on these fucking people for real.
Mm-hmm.
Just such fucking clowns. And of course, we got Biden totes millions for clean drinking water for Ukraine. Still hasn't visited East Palestine over 200 days later now. And he's just now, and that son of a bitch just now authorized like a couple of $1 million for relief for us, is what it is now.
Yeah, you know, it's fucking ironic how, what was it, a couple years ago, you know, we were asking, you know, Congress and whatnot for money to build the border wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was it supposed to total out to? It's like 5 or 7.
Yeah, it was like $5.3 billion or something like that. And we've given like 50 times that to Ukraine at this point now.
Exactly. I mean, they can't find the money to build a wall that's necessary to secure our borders in our country, but yet they'll give billions upon billions of dollars to a foreign country to help pay their payroll and their shit and, you know, funnel money and whatnot. It's such bullshit, dude.
Mm-hmm. And
it shows them where their fucking actual priorities and honestly maybe loyalties lie.
Well, that's the whole point. And this is the whole point of the proxy war to begin with. It's them trying to keep their backup country afloat so they can go flee to it here in a year or two whenever they fuck up our country with open borders and everything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing at the end of the day. It's all a long game. It's a long game con is what it is. The same bullshit with them trying to do, we're going to shut down the government in 8 days and fuck over all the recipients for retirees and stuff like that. My mom is. Instead of actually being like, no, y'all are not getting paid a fucking dime ever again. Fuck off. Deal with the shit. And yeah, exactly. You're not getting paid for the rest of the year, dude. Live off what you have already, assholes.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
It just, I feel like we're coming to a snapping point really quick here in this country, and I don't know what it's going to look like after the fact, but it's not going to be good when it happens. And I think more and more people are waking up to that fact every single fucking day now, especially when you got all these retards here in Ohio bitching and moaning about their child murder amendment all over Reddit today. It's just so disgusting in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, I don't understand why we can't do better yes on issue 1 signs. It's like, because you're all scumbags, dude, and what you're talking about is literal fucking child murder.
Yep. They don't give a shit. Like you said a while ago, they know what they're doing at the end of the day. It's fucking disgusting. And they know it's wrong. Why do you think they're hiding it so well? Or trying to hide it, you know? Because they know it's wrong. Because if you do stuff that's right, you have no problem, you know, admitting it or acknowledging it or anything. So they know what they're doing. And they know it's wrong and it's disgusting, but they don't fucking care.
Nope.
They're evil pieces of shit. Some people just should automatically forfeit their existence.
Or at least their voting rights anyway. Yeah, here's what I was talking about was these douchebags with their vote yes on issue 1 child murder amendment. And this idiot says, abortion and reproductive rights are broadly popular. Yeah, they're so popular you have to fake polls of 500-something people in them to then claim 70% of Ohioans support the shit. That, by the way, happened several times now. You've had multiple polls done where it's like anywhere from like 500 to 575 people, something like that.
Yeah.
And they claim like 60 to 70%, 67% of residents support the shit. The same thing with gun control here. It was 461 recently were polled in major city of Columbus. And they're like, oh, there's like 70% of Ohioans that support gun control. It's like, no, there's not. If there was, it would already be in place, you assholes. Same thing with your fucking abortion crap. So, but yeah, he's talking about crucial to pass this crap. Here's what it is. And then they're talking about vote yes to freedom. So disgusting. And then I love this one here. This idiot here said, at my college campus, we're going full blown, no filter, legalize abortion and weed, and people seem to be receptive of it. It's like, yeah, because it's fucking a retarded college campus with a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds, really, is what it is. Or even younger for that matter, like 18 to 23, 24, maybe. So. And this moron was talking about those who understand and will vote for issue 1 will still vote for issue 1 regardless of what a yard sign says. Bunch of ass clowns. This is what I think is even more disgusting. Says there are no signs say protect children. Our yes signs should say protect mothers. How are you going to protect a mother if she's not having a child and isn't already a mother at that point? When she just killed her kid in the womb.
Right. It's fucking disgusting, man.
It's demonic is what it is. And I'm just so sick of it, honestly.
It really is.
I'm just waiting for that fucking Point Break to just happen. This is also why I don't attend rallies, just so we're clear on this whole thing, because if I did, I'd probably just end up assaulting like 20 people is what it is then. Yeah, and start swinging and not stop.
I understand this sentiment, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't do any good because you would get locked up.
Yeah,
and the real criminals that should be locked up will get to skate free, and you'll have the book thrown at you.
I know I will. Especially if it was in Columbus and shit like that. So
yeah, I saw
that's
something
earlier. That's why it's better to just lobby the state senators, state reps, etc. there, and just have them pass good legislation when it is there.
Yeah.
So
I saw a tweet earlier. And I was like, I hope it's true, and he comes back with a vengeance. But if Trump was reelected in 24, he said that he would carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in America history.
Oh, I fucking wish it was.
So if he gets reelected, I hope he fucking does that, because just what we discussed it the other day, I think on Honda's chat, just in the time Biden's been in office, it was like 8 million or around 8 million or plus or so of illegals have crossed this border just since in the time he's been in office. I can't say his actual title because, I don't want to go there because it's your chat and I don't know. I don't want to say something, but you know what I'm getting at.
I was trying to find something here. Is what it is. So I found this video earlier. I thought was interesting. This was a TikTok video, I believe is what it was, where you had these two individuals right here talking about something. You got the guy talking about some stuff here and about things he wished he'd known before dating a quote unquote trans woman, being the individual on the right there. And how it's like a Happy Meal with an extra special toy. And he was basically trying to say if it was gay or not to hook up with trannies and stuff like that, which I thought was funny. So, but yeah, I'm not sure who this dude is, but I'm 99% sure that the other individual is actually a trans porn star, if I'm not mistaken. So, which, if that is the person I think it is, which is Emma Rose, they have actually admitted on camera in multiple interviews to having I think it was almost $1 million in surgeries to look more feminine.
Jesus,
and it's all overseas stuff too, to the point where they were like, I'm afraid if I go overseas one more time and get another surgery, I might not come out alive of this whole thing. So, yeah. And the thing is, there's people, I know for a fact there's some people in our society that, they're born and they, as a dude, come off very feminine looking. And those tend to be the ones that can pass the easiest as, trans individuals or whatever the case be then. And then there's other, as I call it, layers of sort of deceptions what it would be then. And it's stuff like that with these kind of individuals there where you got to go spend tens of thousands of dollars, $100,000, not millions of dollars and stuff like that to go look like someone else or whatever. And then there's other ones that are just don't have any money at all and just be like, I'm trans now. And they have a 5 o'clock shadow rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I'm going to go to the women's bathroom now as a 6'4", 300-pound dude.
Yeah, how much money do you think was spent on? Because I think it was you that posted the video on the Discord about the Joe Biden body double that was caught walking around. I wonder how much money was spent to make him look like Joe Biden. And it was funny too, because in the video, there's two cops walking with him, and then the lady hollering at him calls him out and says, you're the body double. Where's Biden? The two cops were like, yeah, we're off screen. They ducked off and walked away.
Yeah, here's the article I was talking about. Porn star fears she could die after undergoing black market surgery, and that's the same person then. Yes, this transgender porn star Emma Rose has admitted that she fears for her life. Complications arise after going for black market surgeries. Had on the backside said, speaking to some person, YouTube series Rose opened about the successful career in porn star world so far, and that she has had multiple awards a year. Changes, continues look at her face. So most of the parts of the interview was when they spoke about surgeries they had undergone. Said Rose claims she had spent more than $100,000 on surgeries during the career to date, having transitioned in 2017. That's still a fuck ton of money, though. $100K or more. Like, so just to be looking more feminine and stuff like that.
So he turned he turned his pole into a hole.
No, that's the thing. They still have it apparently.
Wow.
That's the one thing with a lot. Like, that's the one thing I've realized with a lot of those trans people and stuff like that, do like trans porn and stuff, where it's like trans women and stuff. They don't do the bottom surgeries at all. It's they keep intact underneath is what it is, but like everything above the fucking waist basically looks feminine is what it is there. And then it's confusing the shit out of everybody is what it is, man. It's like, I don't know what to think now.
Yeah, that
and I think that's the problem. And then they're pushing the same stuff at children now. Yeah. And they wonder why kids get confused as fuck now is what it is. And it's like, yeah, when I'm a grown ass man, I'm just like, it kind of looks like a chick, but I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, because to me, I think they should honestly kind of walk with like a neon sign above their head saying that they're a real, biological male. Because, what if they try to go on a date with a guy that doesn't know that, he's on a date with another guy and he thinks he's on a date with a girl. Yeah. And they start getting intimate and he finds the pole instead of a hole. Yeah. I've heard cases where,
there's been a bunch of them. And it's a lot of it when you look at it a lot of the times when the people are always talking about like black trans lives matter and stuff like that, it tends to be a lot of the black trans that are the ones doing the stuff and acting as if they're biological female. And then they date some random black dude. And yeah, it's like Atlanta, Georgia. I've heard of a bunch of these actually on AK Nation News, different streams over the past 6 months or so, where you've had these chicks that if you look at them on face value, look like they're female, honestly, like just at a glance or whatever. And then, yeah, they were beaten to death because it turned out they had a dick underneath is what it is. And it's just sad because it's like, had they just been upfront with people about it, like you probably could have found somebody that actually was into that man and had a decent relationship with that person.
Yeah, there's some people out there.
You want to be a con man is what it is. So
yeah, you would think there would be some kind of crime that would go along with that. Say
I would think it would technically qualify for false impersonation at that point, maybe
something.
Because there's states out there that would qualify that as false impersonation charges and stuff like that. So
would have a case, Say if they did beat the shit out of another person when they thought it was a woman, but it turned out to be actual dude.
That I remember hearing about, and I'm not sure which state this was in. I can't remember offhand, but it was basically they had gone, and it was something like that where they ended up killing this individual. Not purposefully or whatever the case be. It was just like fit of rage kind of thing. And I want to say that their lawyer was able to argue it as justifiable homicide then. Because they're like, this person deceived my client into thinking they were on a date and were about to hook up with a biological female, and it was not the case. And that's why they did what they did. And I can't remember if that person got off or not, though. But it's like, and that's the thing, though. It's like, yeah, you're falsely claiming you're something you're not. And then you wonder why you have all these people coming out and being like, well, I wouldn't date that person now, whatever the case be. And then you got all these other people being like, in a lot of cases when it comes to the whole transgender ideology stuff and whatnot, it's a lot of guys who are very, very ugly for that matter trying to claim to be trans women now, and then being like, I don't understand why I can't get a date, you racist bigots. And go like full, like, just insanity is what it is, because they're already kind of insane to begin with. So, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely, I've talked about this several times on this channel. There's definitely what I would call like a scale of passability when it comes to trans people, especially when it's like men to women. And it's people like that are in the, porn industry and stuff like that make themselves look more feminine, whatever, be through surgeries or whatever the case be. Like, they're more easily passable than your average, person that wants to be trans or claims to be trans, whatever the case be, that can't afford surgery and stuff like that. It still has very much a masculine looking face and stuff like that. And then, of course, because of puberty and stuff like that, you have the deeper voices as a male that is very hard to get rid of later on, even with enough estrogen in your system is what it is. You're not going to be able to lower that voice is what it is there.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of them actually end up outing themselves, because they're just like, no, my name is Natalie or something like that, but it's like really fucking deep voice sounding or whatever. And it's like, okay, Hank.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's just, it's interesting, but that's the thing. And like, I think unfortunately you have a lot of people now, and even going back to what was said this week with the whole, how many times people think about Rome throughout the day and stuff like that. I think it goes kind of back to Roman Empire stuff as well, for that matter, where you have, people back then where you had basically like cross dressers or whatever the case be. And it was people pretending to be things that they weren't to get, advantages or whatever the case be. And it's sort of the same thing nowadays, where you have this small, I would consider it to be like a small subset of people, maybe like a couple thousand at most, like 2,000-3,000, maybe 4,000 at most or so, give or take there, who legitimately are gender dysphoric. They have serious mental issues to where, while they were being conceived and growing in the womb and stuff like that, they're obviously starting out as a female. Their brain biologically kept that female mindset, yet over time their body changed into that of a male now. And so they have that situation there where it is something like that. But on the flip side of things, there's a lot of people who understand that a lot of this is bullshit, and they're just trying to push mental illness on small children now is what it is. And it's and unfortunately basically castrating an entire generation of kids now. And that's exactly why I'm fighting back against the point. Shit.
They said years ago that the Earth's getting too overpopulated, that they need to depopulate. What better way to do if you sterilize a whole fucking generation? And it would take up to, what, I think they said 3 generations before, it will fix itself to where, they start repopulating more. Something
Probably,
like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing. Like, and now you're seeing like all this other stuff come out, and there's obviously clips I can't show on here because it's, Antifa fighting people is what it is. But yeah, there was a thing up there in Canada and a couple different places this week where it was a bunch of parents up there being like, yeah, you're not pushing this trans/gay curriculum on our kids here is what it is. And this race-based curriculum, etc. there. And it was people from all walks of life. It was some Arab guy was talking about it, and there was Christians there, and there was other people there as well, for that matter, of all races, colors, creeds, and nationalities and everything else like that. And where they were all like, no, we're here to protect our kids from this sick, disgusting ideology that they're trying to push on our children now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. And when you look at most of these teachers coming out of these colleges now that shouldn't even be in the teaching industry, it's a bunch of individuals who want to put up the pedo pride flags, the Black Lives Matter flags, etc., in classrooms that should automatically see them expelled from that fucking school system entirely, and the teaching industry as a whole.
They should have their teaching license and whatever certification is revoked.
Yeah. And I've said it before, we should be blackballing people from education system forever, where it's literally an asterisk on their fucking permanent record then for any future job application that specifically states as a footnote there, it says, this person should never be allowed around children, and here is why. You go from there, and you basically ostracize them that way, and it fixes itself in less than a generation, I believe, honestly. So, but yeah, that's the problem right now. We're not doing what we need to be doing for these kids to actually save the children. And then you got people bitching and moaning about different things. And there's actually a town here in Ohio. There's actually 2 pieces of legislation we're actually going to pass right now. That's one of them is in our thing, and then one of them is not in our thing. There is HB 245 was introduced recently, which would basically ban adult cabaret performances for kids. And the other one is basically that, but it's just a city ordinance then in a small rural area of Ohio that's going to have that on their ballot come November 7th. So, which I hope they pass it, honestly, because it's disgusting to have a bunch of sickos around kids like that. And it's like, why are you trying to shove your junk in a kid's face, man?
I know. Just like that one case, what was it, like a week or two ago? Where it was it the principal or superintendent or something that was literally
it was the principal of the school who was a convicted child molester. Yeah, somehow was able to get to the principal's office.
No, I don't know if it's the same one, but the one that was actually getting paddled and spanked by a trainee.
Oh no, that was a different one.
In front of kids.
That was the mayor of some town in California.
Oh, it was a mayor. I thought it was like a principal or superintendent.
No. That was a mayor in a city. It was a mayor in I think Burbank, California, I want to say is what it is. I believe that's what it was. Let me go check real quick. Yeah, I want to say it was them.
That was in the front of kids and everything. It's fucking disgusting, dude.
Spanked. Yeah, it was Burbank Mayor. Yep, video of Burbank Mayor Constantine Anthony being spanked during a drag queen event was shared on social media page known for whipping up anti-LGBTQ fervor online. He said, and the torrent of hate came strong and swift after the fact. That was back on the 14th that happened, so about 8 days ago, something like that. It's just disgusting in general, dude. Guy's a sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, how could you think that would be acceptable as a fucking mayor?
Ridiculous, dude.
In any regard, it's disgusting and unacceptable. But I mean, that's a person in leadership that's doing this shit. That makes it even worse.
It's the same exact thing with everything else, and it's like, what's funny is when you look back into history and stuff, and this is one thing I do like about that AK Nation News guy, his streams and stuff. There's a channel here on YouTube, I forget what it's called offhand, but it will show like old video footage from like the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff like that of all the different like racial division that was happening back then. And they're actually calling it out for the time as what it was. And you actually had it. There was one he did a few weeks ago here as a stream that he has a clip still on his channel for, and it was basically them talking about Compton, California, how it was originally a very white neighborhood that then became sort of integrated back in like the end of Vietnam area time. Yeah. And then eventually it was them giving like housing vouchers to Section 8 families that essentially came in there, couldn't pay their mortgages, houses end up going up for rent again or whatever the case be, and they just turned it into a basically giant shithole. And at the same time, you had the mayor and the entire city council were all a bunch of black folks, and they just ruined it in like less than a year is what it was there, that entire town.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's a sad statistic in general, because it's like you would think you want to change something for the better, but no, you just go corrupt as fuck is what it is immediately, and that's what it was in that situation. They went so corrupt immediately, and it's just sad. It's just so sad.
I agree.
So, I don't know anymore. It's infuriating is what it really is, honestly. And it does sort of make you wonder, like, at what point is something going to break off is what it is. And I think it's going to happen very soon, honestly.
Yeah, I keep saying it's either going to be end of this year, which is not very far off, or, it's going to be beginning of next year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel personally that next year is going to be one of the worst years we have ever seen in our lifetimes, or, in many, many fucking decades in this country.
Yep, for sure. And I think that's what it is. I think there's a lot of times people don't realize, like, there's trials and tribulations in our nation that are going to happen throughout the centuries and stuff like that. And again, this kind of goes back to the whole fork turning thing where you have, the whole weak men create hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, etc. And we're heading back towards that time now again where you've had weak men and women, for that matter, being in positions of power they shouldn't have been in to begin with, creating very hard times to come. And it might not be our generation that directly becomes the strong men again. It might be the next generation. It might be your son. It might be Honda's kids. It might be Matt's daughters, etc.
Yep.
It might be my niece and nephew, for that matter.
Yeah, because the strong generation that we had last time, in my opinion, the greatest generation, was during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just seems like society as a whole, you know, people in America, after that, have just progressively gotten weaker little by little. And then here in the last, since I would say Obama for sure, it's just gone downhill fast.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at his administration, it's by design in many cases, because it was you almost, after Bush and 9/11 and stuff like that, had almost racial unity in this country.
Yeah.
And then Obama came in and is like, nope, got to race divide everybody. Let's give Black Lives Matter a hate platform at the White House here, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he's the biggest reason for the racial division right now.
And then Biden's just as bad. I mean, he was talking about, I know he's quoting from back in the day, but like still, I mean, he's talking about, you know, N-word big shots and everything else like that. And it's like, dude, come on now.
Oh yeah, he's really taken. He's like, Obama, hold my beer and watch this, and he fucking accelerated everything.
And there was the other one the other day that I thought was even more disgusting. And this is something that the Legit people were talking about. And it was Biden doing a quote about. I'm trying to think how he said it now. It was something about minorities and not having like high school educations or something. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, like you said, you know, wasn't Biden that said that, you know, basically black people didn't know how to operate laptops or computers?
Yeah. He was talking about them not being smart enough to go get like driver's licenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, how is that not, you know, overtly racist? You know,
it's completely racist.
I don't understand how they didn't turn their backs on him immediately and want to oust him for that shit.
And the thing is, and unfortunately, it does go back to something we've talked about many, many times, where you have individuals who people's attention spans in this country, and I would say just in the entire world for that matter, have just denigrated like fucking crazy in the past like 25 years or so.
I agree.
To where it's like, yeah, you can tell somebody something today and you're lucky if they remember it tomorrow, honestly, or even a half hour from now for that matter. Because it's like, oh, wait, what? And again, it's by design. It's, you can go the chemicals in the water supply and food supply and stuff like that, or anything else for that matter. But I think that's a different chat for different time is what it is, though. I don't want to go off on that tangent right now because I got stuff I got to do. But yeah, it's just ridiculous entirely is what it is. So
yeah, have you heard about the bullshit with Fetterman?
Where there was two of them at the UVA events.
Yeah,
yeah, I have seen that.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard something about how he fucking ran naked through somewhere.
Supposedly it was an airport. I don't know if that was actually him or not. I know there was a video of a naked guy in an airport. I don't know if it was John Fetterman.
Yeah, they were saying he was running through the airport naked in protest of being forced to wear clothes or something. I don't remember what it was. I don't know exactly, but yeah, there was something weird like that. And then there was also, you had that idiot Schumer change the Senate rules now to where you don't have to have a dress code anymore is what it is. So Fetterman can show up looking like a used car mechanic. And that's just fucking disgusting. I don't know how that man got elected. I do know.
That's the entire point. He did not.
I know that, but
he and Shapiro both cheated their way into office.
I mean, how are you going to allow that man to desecrate our
elected hallways and stuff like that?
Exactly. I mean, there's a dress code for a reason. I mean, we elect them to look out for us in our best interest, and we expect them to be professional. And
I could see like a casual Friday or something maybe where it's like, you know, if it's hot as fuck or whatever, like, yeah, you can wear like shorts and t-shirt or whatever the case be.
Yeah, but I mean,
for 4 days of the week, be professional as hell, dude, and wear like I would say at least like a shirt and tie anyway. You don't wear like a full suit or whatever.
Yeah, or like how we do in Texas, you know, when we dress up, you know, we don't usually dress in suits and everything, you know, as country guys. We, you know,
put a nice shirt on and a bolo tie.
Yeah, we wear, you know, real nice pair of jeans that, you know, are pretty expensive.
Pressed and ironed.
Yeah, exactly. And then we wear a very nice, you know, button-up shirt. And if you want to wear a tie or a bolo tie or whatnot, and we have, you know, our dress cowboy hats because we have cowboy hats for different occasions. But I would say that right there would suffice if you don't like wearing suits or nothing. Dress up like that if that's your style. But just to fucking show up in Congress or Senate or wherever, like you just got back from the fucking gym or something, or
yeah, exactly.
You went to a hobo rally or something, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
come on, that's
came
fucking
from a homeless
unacceptable.
Nah, he just came from visiting Kensington Avenue. Wanted to dress like the rest of them.
Yeah, and speaking of him at that whatchamacallit, because I know he tweeted how he started off in a truck and then they said he ended up in
something
like
else,
a Jeep Wrangler or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, I think that dude died a while back, you know, when he disappeared for so long and they were like, oh, if you don't come back, you know,
well,
you're out of
okay.
your
So there was
position.
the time where he had the original brain aneurysm or whatever that caused his like stroke out or whatever it was there, or it was like a stroke that caused like a brain issue or whatever there. And then I know he had a second one before the actual Senate race. And I would not be surprised if he legitimately died then. And that's when they either straight up cloned him, multiplicity style, or they said, hey, put on these masked body double guys. And they found some body double guys to put on masks and stuff. Because there's way too much evidence out there right now where he had like full blown like forearm tattoos that are now gone and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, there's some suspicious shit there. You don't just get that shit lasered off in like a day, man, and show up tomorrow without like any marks on your arms and stuff like that.
I saw that too, how he's missing his forearm tattoos
entirely.
And it's just like with Jamie Foxx and when he was out at the fucking
that would make sense. That would make sense from a two-party aspect on that one. Either direct cloning of human beings at this point, which our government may have the technology to do at this point, honestly, or it could be something because it would be something where you can't do like tattoos in the cloning process or whatever. Or it would be something where, again, if you do the face mask thing and it's like this actually like really good generational face mask deals, it would just be something where they just forget those little details like that is what it is. They don't care enough to do it because they don't think people are actually going to wake up to the fucking fact it's not the same person or whatever then.
Yeah, like I was saying with the Jamie Foxx thing, how he was at the fast food restaurant and he was completely missing the big ass fucking tattoo on the back of his head.
I remember that. And that's the thing. And like, there's times where I believe truthfully, like Hollywood has sent out movies throughout the decades and stuff to tell us exactly what's happening for real. And it goes back to the whole Satanism thing a lot of the times, because when you go through the whole Satanist rituals and stuff like that, they have to basically show you what they're doing for it to actually be a powerful magical spell is what it is. And I think in some cases, just like the movie The Island years ago with Ewan McGregor and I think it was
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, where they were clones of other people and stuff like that, and they were being used for a liver, a heart, lungs, whatever the case be that somebody else needed that was originally this person there.
Yeah.
I think it could be something like that, honestly, where there's just, depending on the person and stuff like that, if they're a selected individual, whatever the case be, it's like, hey, we select you to be in the U.S. Senate, or we select you to be in the presidency, whatever the case be. They just have backups of these people is what it is now.
I mean, they've shown us about the whole, full head mask thing for years now. You go all the way back to the 90s with Mrs. Doubtfire and Robin Williams.
Well, no, and they have even better ones nowadays, is what I'm saying, though. Like,
no, I'm saying
very fucking creepy.
My point is they've shown us that stuff exists for years now. And then that lady from the CIA or something did an interview a while back talking about how they've perfected those masks so they can look like anyone that they want.
Super
like Mission Impossible. So I mean, they've been showing us what they are doing for years. Because even back then in the 90s with Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams' little headdress mask thing, whatever you want to call it, looked real when he dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, and it gets even better than that now. It's like even better quality than that. And that's the thing. It's the same thing with the government, and that's all government technology too, because it's the same deal with theirs. What it is, it's like whatever we have as technology in ourselves going out here, they have stuff that's anywhere from like 25 to 50 years more advanced than us is what it is. And that's all, a lot of the cases, I'm not saying all the cases, but many of the cases, it's all reverse engineered from alien tech is what it is, from UFO crashes and stuff like that. They've been able to at least extract some of that stuff, and they've been able to use it technology-wise, and that's why they hide it from us is what it is, because they know if they actually came out and were like, yeah, there's these UFOs we've had in like storage for like the last 75 years or whatever the case being, all of our technology, including computers, smartphones, etc., all come from it. Oh, here's the shit we have that's like way more advanced than your stuff. Everybody want that stuff now, and they couldn't mass produce it is what it is. And I think that's what it is a lot of the times. They can mass produce some of it in small quantities. They just can't do a whole ton of it in mass quantities. And because of that, they don't go and do any of it really. And then people wonder, and they're just like, well, this is fucking what the hell, man. kind of thing or whatever. So I don't know. It's some wild shit for sure. And unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to know the real truth of anything. And yeah, it's best just call it out as what it is, though, whenever you see it, because you can't let these people slide with this shit, because if you do, it's going to continue to happen, and it's going to be allowed to do it more and more and more. And unfortunately, if we let them do it more, it's going to continue on more and what have you. So you got to call it out when you see it. And if you don't call it out when you see it, it's going to just happen more. So obviously I keep repeating myself just because of the fact I'm actually playing a game right now in the background. So I'm not really paying much attention currently, but we'll be back in a sec here. But yeah, no, seriously though, they will, if they can get away with something, they'll do it as much as possible. And we've seen it time and time again. It's the same thing with playbooks and stuff like that. Whenever you look at people's playbooks and stuff, they'll do all kinds of shady shit as much as they possibly can and try to get away with as much as they possibly can, thinking that people are stupid and are just going to sit there and put up with their bullshit and not realize, like, hey, I see something, I'm going to call it the fuck out, man. And that's why I'll call it out every chance I get, what it is, because there's no reason not to, you know? And of course, and the thing is, if they try to channel strike you for it, they try to censor you for it, or whatever the case be, you know you're telling the truth then, if that be the case, because you know for a fact they don't want it out there is what it is then.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And unfortunately, it's a lot of fuckery in many cases, and people are just scumbags in many cases. So, anyway, but yeah, that being said, I actually do have to do some stuff though right now, so I'm gonna end up jumping off here in a minute or two and go do a few things. But yeah, I think this was a good one today. Got through pretty much all the stories I want to talk about today in a timely fashion, so we'll be back. I'm debating if I want to do this early Saturday stream tomorrow or not, or if we just want to do this like a Sunday stream now, since I haven't done the first one yet. It all depends, because it would either be a pre-show going into Matt's Saturday Geek Chat, or it would be an after chat after that. And the thing is, depending on my own, I know I was going to do it last week, and I got so tired after Matt's chat, I just like basically fell asleep out on the chair out in the living room. So that's why that didn't happen. So it depends on how I'm feeling tomorrow, if I'm actually awake or not. So,
no, I get it.
Or if you want to do something on your channel, Corey, and just take over the name for me.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I've been so busy lately. Yeah. I had 2 meetings yesterday. I had another follow-up phone call today. Yeah. I've got another meeting in the morning. I've been busy lately. Yeah. I've got a lot of personal shit that I've been trying to take care of, and it's something I have to do.
Yeah, I know some of it. I'm not going to say it. So, all right. I think that's about it for today, though. We'll be. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to be back tomorrow night or not. It'll either be tomorrow night or maybe a Sunday, depending here, for surely something. At that point, we just get sort of belligerent and angry about things all day long.
Right.
So, but yeah, we'll either do a Saturday stream at some point, or we'll do a Sunday stream at some point, but I'm not sure which. And then it'll be sometime, probably Tuesday will be the next stream on this channel after that then. So other than that, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Never forget to hug your wife, husband, kids, family dog, whatever the case be, because you never know if today's going to be your last day with them. And it's really simple as that. Yep. Any parting words, Corey?
Stay safe, stay prepared, always protect you and your family, because the road's going to be very fucking rough coming soon. So just stay alert.
And on that note, with a new ending, I'm going to say, make sure to always have one in the chamber and carry at least one spare mag, if not more, at all times. See you guys in the next one. Later.